Those who believe without reason cannot be convinced without reason. Blind belief can be confronting, but it can easily cripple reason and productivity and stop intellectual progress. No matter how smart or well-educated you are, you can be deceived. Expose every belief to the light of reason, discourse, facts, scientific observation. Question everything. Be skeptical, because it's the only chance at life you will ever get. I want to be cremated, and I want my ashes blown in Uri Geller's eyes. To recognize that nature neither has a preference for our species nor a bias against it takes only a little courage. There is a distinct difference between having an open mind and having a hole in your head from which your brain leaks out. We have fought long and hard to escape from medieval superstition. I, for one, do not wish to go back. Science is a search for basic truths about the universe, a search which develops statements that appear to describe how the universe works, but which are subject to correction, revision, adjustment, or even outright rejection upon presentation of better or conflicting evidence. Nature does not cheat. People do. The market for nonsense is infinite. Magicians are the most honest people in the world. They tell you they're going to fool you, and then they do it. Paranormal phenomena have a habit of going away whenever they are tested under rigorous conditions. This is why the $1 million reward of James Randi offered to anyone who can demonstrate a paranormal effect under proper scientific controls is safe. We owe it to our kids to inform them and train them how to think, not what to think. Death is the ultimate disappointment. The new age? It's just the old age stuck in a microwave oven for 15 seconds. Feeling better is not actually being better. I am in a very peculiar business. I travel all over the world telling people what they should already know. Nostradamus himself confessed that the vague manner in which he wrote his prophecies was so that they could not possibly be understood until they were interpreted after the event and by it. The conjurer, or con man, is a very good provider of information. He supplies lots of data by inference or direct statement, but it's false data. Scientists aren't used to that scenario. An electron or a galaxy is not capricious nor deceptive, but a human can be either or both. Heroin also makes people feel better, but I wouldn't recommend using heroin. The only difference is that religion is much better organized and has been around much longer, but it's the same story with different characters and different costumes. People who are smart get into Mensa. People who are really smart look around and leave. A quick example of that is a woman who said she's been healed of throat cancer, where the faith healer admitted he touched her on the forehead. One thing that has made a big comeback just recently is the business of speaking with the dead. To my innocent mind, dead implies incapable of communicating. I believe in the basic goodness of my species because that appears to be the positive tactic and quality that leads to better chances of survival. And in spite of our foolishness, we seem to have survived. No evidence against a firmly held belief, no matter how good or abundant it may be, will sway the true believer. The problem with experiments has always been that human beings make the decision on whether or not animals have been benefited from the treatment. Uri Geller may have psychic powers by means of which he can bend spoons. If so, he appears to be doing it the hard way. However, I believe it would be difficult to have legitimate scientists agree to participate. I do not expect that homeopathy will ever be established as a legitimate form of treatment, but I do expect that it will continue to be popular. Escapology has one thing going for it that probably made Harry Houdini such a superstar in his day and a legend in the present. Everyone wants to escape from something: taxes, contracts, illness, work. The multitude of burdens that we chafe under are shadows from which we want to escape. I can go into a lab and fool the rear ends off any group of scientists. I questioned her further and eventually got to talk to her doctor. And her doctor sort of shook his head and he said, "I have examined her for throat cancer at least 15 times in the past few years." I don't expect that the million will ever be won, simply because there is no confirming evidence for any paranormal claims to date. They would have been very let down if they had to leave the theater and he had missed. He would feel badly. Everyone would feel badly, but he never let them down. There's something about the Houdini Act that is not always made clear about the Escape Act in general. The sleep of reason brings forth monsters. On the contrary, to know that you are an individual, not put here for some mysterious reason by some supernatural means, and that you are not protected by unknown powers or beings. To know you are a product of millions of experiments in the evolutionary process and not the result of a seed thrown on this planet by extraterrestrials. That, to me, is very exciting.